I met with Lucy Fisher, and I remember that woman, she was wonderful, but she offered so many projects, I mean, and she was very sad, you know, she couldn't understand why I would turn down all these projects that she would get. And finally she got it, and she said, oh, okay, I have a story for you. That one, I mean, that, okay, I got it. And then she put on the table a screenplay that you will never guess what that could be, or have been. Malcolm X. Yes. She had Malcolm X in a drawer, and she put it on the table, and she said, look, what about that one? And I said, there we are talking, yes. but still I cannot do Malcolm X, because I know that Malcolm X was a very controversial, you know, person, okay, in this country. And I told her, I truly believe that Malcolm X should be directed by an American director, not by somebody from outside. And I said, and by an African American. So she said, well, so I don't know what else to offer, because everything I gave you, you turned down everything. And I said, but don't worry, because I did not come empty-handed, you know, so I have a book in my bag. So, and I gave her the book, A Dry White Season, and she said, oh, I never heard of that story. And I said, this is a bestseller all over the world. And it's a great story, so why don't you read it and then we'll talk. And she said, okay. And then the vice president of MGM was Mr. Jay Cantor. And Jay, you know, he loved that project as well. And I told Paula, look, I want Marlon Brando to...
Actually, how did you get him to work with you, and how did you get him to work for free? That's amazing.
Yeah, because I told Paula, my producer, I said, look, for the anti-apartheid lawyer, I really would like Marlon Brando to portray that character. We had the most fantastic experience. He was fantastic, really. Marlon came there, and everybody was waiting for him. You had people like Donald Sutherland, Susan Sarandon, people like all these great actors like Michael Gambon, Ronald Pickup, I mean, Eughan Palcy. I mean, they were all waiting for him because they didn't see the master for 10 years. And there he is there, you know. And he will talk to some technicians, you know, about, you know, the electrical cords, you know, and said, okay, how does this work? And he would be on his knees, you know, and play with the cord and get like a kid and get very interested, you know, in that guy's job, you know. And I knew right there that he was scared. Yeah, because he's a human being. I mean, he can't be Brando, but after all these years, and he was very fat, you know, and he knew that everybody would be waiting for him, and there was a whole generation of actors, you know, great actors that was there waiting for him. So Marlon has this little fear, you know. I mean, you know, I don't know how they call that in English, but we say, il avait le tract. So that's why he needed, before actually going to the stage, you know, he needed to talk to these people, you know, these little people, and when I say little, I mean the young technician, and talk about something that has nothing to do with acting, you know. And I was standing there watching him doing
What about relaxation?
Yeah, that part of it, you know. And then he said, okay, so I'm ready, you know, and he came, you know, and he started to work with the actors, and sometimes something would go wrong, and he said, oh, it's me, oh, I'm sorry. And they would say, no, it's not you, Mr. Brando, it's me. No, it's me. I mean, playing that kind of stuff and jumping up and down, you know. It was amazing. But there is a scene, a moment, you know, in the courtroom scene, sequence, where his character, I mean, is supposed to insult the magistrate. And the magistrate will order 2 guards, you know, to expel him out of the courtroom. So I did 4 takes, and every time it would be the same thing. Marlon, you know, he has to fight against these 2 guys, you know, want to take him off the courtroom. There is a fight, And every time, you know, his shot will open like this, his belly will go out, you know. And because he doesn't learn his line, he didn't stick any stuff, you know,
on the forehead.
Because the device was more sophisticated, of course, with the techniques, you know. When you can afford it, so it's good. So he would have some special thing in his ears and have somebody feeding him with the lines next door. So that's why when he's, if you look at him, he speaks very slowly, and he does a lot of gesture. He scratches his head, and he said, well, you know, he does that because he needs time, you know, to get the lines, digest the lines, you know. But he's so great, he's so fantastic that nobody will see anything, you know. And in the cutting room, when we put the scene together, I mean, it was hilarious because it is in the middle of a very tough, dramatic moment where we are dealing with, you know, tortured and photograph of people who have been tortured bodies and stuff like that. And then he's doing that show, you know. So that takes you out of the film. You laugh, and you know, and then you laugh, and then you can't go back into it. So I knew that it was, but I knew it when I shot it. And I said, okay, so there is no way that we can keep that in the movie, and I cut it. And then he called me, and he said, yes, okay, so yeah, I saw, you know, I saw that. So what are you trying to tell me? And I said, well, Marlon, of course. I mean, you know, the best cut is the one without it because we cannot keep that in the movie. And he said, why? I disagree. I love it. This is great stuff, Euzhan. And I said, oh. But I really truly believe that he was pulling my leg. And I said, Marlon, of course, me too. I loved it so much that I cut it on the movie. And he said, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. And I knew that would be trouble right there. My producer was in the office, said, what? You love that crap? And I said, he does. And he said, no, I want you to keep it in the movie because this is fantastic stuff. I mean, I want to show the people that how the South African bastards, they are above the law and they can. Nobody never did that in the whole world, to take a lawyer, you know, and then to throw it up the courtroom. That doesn't exist. But they are so much above the law, they did it. And I said, I know, because I put it in the script. But the problem is that, you know, look at what we got, Marlon. I mean, your belly and the whole stuff. I mean, I said, this is terrible. And it's buffoon. I mean, it's just like, it's ugly. We can't keep that in the movie. He said, I disagree, and I love it, and I want it in the film, Euzhan. Oh my God, this was terrible. I mean, this is the worst moment of my life as a filmmaker. And Paula talked to him. Paula said, Marlon, no, we can't leave that there. And he wouldn't let it go. He became, you know, obsessed by that. And he wanted the scene in the movie. And then I was in real trouble. And he said, if you don't put the scene in the movie, I'll make sure that you will never work in Hollywood again. I'll badmouth you, and I'll say terrible thing about you. You know me. And I said, wow. I said, Marlon, you are talking like that to me. And I said, well, if you want to take that on that level, okay, fine. I'll tell you something. Go ahead and do it. Because my work speaks to me, for me, you know. And also, the only people I owe something, I owe any kind of loyalty, are the people of South Africa. The people that I met, and I made a promise to them to tell the truth. And I believe that that scene will ruin the movie. And I'm very sad. I'm very torn apart. I mean, because I don't know what I would do to make you happy. And I'm not being ungrateful, but I'm being fair to a movie.